There's this guy named Dave Scarlett. He's a far-right Trump-supporting nutcase. Now, if you're unfamiliar with him, you could be forgiven for that. The reason you're probably unfamiliar with him is because he's part of the Trump, underground network of nutcases who support him no matter what. They're Trump pastors who believe that he's been ordained by God to do all kinds of crazy stuff. He has a podcast that is not small. He's had a lot of people on. He's on Rumble and podcast networks everywhere. But I want to listen to what Dave Scarlett here has to say. And he has a couple of absolutely whacked out guests who I've covered before, surprisingly. Let me just introduce Dave Scarlett real quick.
100% agree. I have personal experience here in Nashville during the pandemic, quote unquote pandemic.
You know this is going to be crazy from this moment forward. He brought Todd Coconato on. I have some stuff from him we'll cover in a minute. Keep listening.
We're sitting here and thousands of people are out here. And here comes Sean Foyt leading worship in the middle when the city's closed down. And so we want to welcome our guest. He is a true lion, a true general. He's been going around the nation for the last couple of years, leading worship, taking a stand. You see him in D.C., you see him all over the place. Sean Foyt, welcome back.
Thank you.
Sean Foyt is an up-and-coming Christian nationalist, self-avowed. It's not an insult I'm using. He describes himself as a Christian nationalist. This live stream that I want to watch, this is His Glory TV or hisglory.me or something like that. Lions in General is what it's called. I want to give you a little bit of background on each of these people real quick, okay? So, Pastor Dave Scarlett. Let's start with him. I don't know if you know General McInerney. He was a general in the U.S. military. I think there's some scandal a while back where it was uncovered that he was taking talking points from the Pentagon. They were telling him what to say. He was going on Fox News and saying it, basically. Lost all credibility. Absolute right-wing nutcase, but he's the guy in the middle. Listen to McInerney talk to Dave Scarlett here about election results in 2020.
The next few weeks are going to be potentially rough. They're going to try to throw everything at us, try to shut down the internet, try to mandate vaccine pass.
Everything that he's listing here is very specific. Shut down the internet is a QAnon call-out. He believes there's going to be a period of 10 days of darkness that are going to blanket the country, and there will be no internet, no power, no nothing. And that's going to be the start of the war against the evil cabal or whatever.
Ports, mask mandates, try to bring down the financial system and more.
That's why you should be collecting gold from his sponsor from today. I don't even know what his sponsor is, but he does sell gold to old people all the time.
And you guys have heard that as well, correct?
Yes.
Of course, the fact that they've heard it lends it credibility.
And they're going to try to stop Mike Lindell's symposium, which he's offering $5 million to anybody who can prove him wrong on the movie that he has made absolute proof that shows how the Chinese Communist Party and the Russians use cyber warfare against the election system on the 3rd of November.
Okay, this is from 2021. This is before the pro-Russia movement really exploded. But that whole he'll give people $5 million if they prove blah, blah, blah. First of all, that's not how a burden of proof works. Mike Lindell made the claim he has the burden of proof for this, okay? I can claim that I have a pink dragon in my living room. It's just out of view of the camera. And it means nothing unless I prove it to you. You don't have to prove it to me that I have a pink dragon. That's not how this works. And McInerney, general in the U.S. military, what is he, like a 4-star general or something, retired now? He should know that. Either way, it doesn't matter because a guy actually did prove it. A guy got the data, entered the contest, and proved that the data that Mike Lindell had was just garbled nonsense. It was data retrieved as though he'd entered a honeypot and been given back false data by servers. Mike Lindell now owes that guy $5 million. Oops.
Now you say, well, why did these guys rule against this? Well, the three arbitrators, hard left Democrats. You only get a little pool to choose from.
Now, everybody poo-poos that and say, well, that's been debunked and there's no evidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody that says it's been debunked and no evidence is part of the group that participated in it. That is part of their psychological warfare campaign.
I'm part of their psychological warfare campaign, totally. Remember, this is August 2021 when this came out, right? Early August 2021, okay? Years ago.
Passports, mask mandates, try to bring down the financial system, and more.
And more. Like, what happened? What in that list happened? Name a single thing. Did the financial system crumble? Did people try to take down the internet? Did they whatever? This is all made up. All of it. Nobody, no ambiguous they tried to stop his symposium. He held it, he aired it, and I even talked about it on this channel. Get over yourselves, people.
Him wrong on the movie that he has made absolute proof that shows how the Chinese Communist Party and the Russians use cyber warfare against the election system on the 3rd of November.
The election systems were not hacked. They were not used by Russia or whatever. They meddled in other ways, Russia did, like planting bot farms across social media to spread misinformation. There's a guy named Prigozhin who died a while back. He led the army. It was a militia group. What was the name of it? It was, oh my God, it's slipping my mind now. Wagner Group, yeah. He led the Wagner Group for a while until Wagner Group did something Putin didn't like, and then he conveniently accidentally fell out the window of an airplane. Anyway, he was the one that led the bot farms. Prigozhin was. Putin had to find a new guy to lead the bot farms. So yeah, they didn't hack anything. They didn't have to. They just meddled. They just twisted things around, spread misinformation here or there, spread nonsense about Hunter Biden and his laptop and all that other junk. Okay, so that's Dave Scarlett. If you were unfamiliar, let me give you another idea of who he is. This is him on Alex Jones. Check out Alex Jones's appearance on Dave Scarlett. This one is from 2023, mid-February 2023.
I've been a Christian since I was young, born again when I was younger, but been worldly, had a lot of problems. I'm not perfect. But I got to tell you, it happened to Mark Dice. It happened to me. It happened to a bunch of other people I talked to.
Mark Dice is a far-right nutcase, just like Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Before you're offered a national TV show, before you're offered a major record deal, they get you in a room and they say, listen, we want you to reject Jesus Christ and pledge yourself to Lucifer.
Who is they? Are they in the room with you right now, Alex? What are you talking about? He's saying that the order, like the government, I guess, the overarching government is trying to force people who get involved in, or who want to work at all, I guess, certainly want to work in the entertainment industry to any degree. He's saying they're forcing people to pledge their fealty, their loyalty to Satan. Come on, people. Come on. How gullible do you get? Do these people believe it? Are they really this gullible?
And it was an off-record meeting with me when it happened. It happened.
Oh, off-record. Convenient that, huh?
Twice. Mark Dice tells the story because it wasn't an off-the-record meeting. It was with the largest reality TV show production company out there.
Well, tell us who it was then. Let's see the video. He's got the video? Let's give it to me. I want to review it. I want to watch it. I want to check it for AI artifacts or anything. I want to prove it. If you're right, I want to be right. Give me what I need to prove your claim. Does he ever do that? Of course he doesn't.
And it happened to Mark Dice. When he told me about it, I believed it because it happened to me. It's happened to Eric Mueller, Mancow Mueller. It's happened to a bunch of other people I know.
Mancount Mueller. I've never heard that term before, but okay. I guess he was trying to make it a thing at the time.
And you're sitting there in a meeting with people in a high-rise building around an office table, and you're like, are you kidding? They're like, no, we're very serious. and we need you to reject Christ and pledge yourself to Lucifer.
Honestly, I doubt this completely, but I can totally see people trolling the shit out of these people. That would be hilarious. No, I don't believe this, actually. Like, even trolling, like, the trolling aside, I don't believe this happened. Not for a second.
Pledge yourself to Lucifer. And I tell viewers that story, 20 years ago, and they go, that's insane.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little insane.
That's insane. No, that really happened.
Once a shred of evidence is forthcoming, a shred, I will believe it. Okay, I have a couple more clips that I want to talk about, all right? One clip from Dave Scarlett, since he's like the host, he's the main man of the hour. And then I have one from Coconato, and then I have one for, what's his name? Sean Feucht, whatever. This is Stu Peters talking to Dave Scarlett. Stu Peters is a rabid anti-Semite. Like, not only does he doesn't even support Palestine because they're Arabs. They're not Christian. He hates Palestine. He also hates Jews because they're not Christian. And in addition to hating Jews, he hates the Israeli government. I mean, that's the level that we're dealing with here. Should give you some insight. All right, so listen to rabid anti-Semite Stu Peters talk to Dave Scarlett of His Glory TV.
You mentioned Nuremberg 2.0. I've heard that a lot from some of the generals that I talk to.
This is about vaccines. He thinks that there's going to be a Nuremberg 2.0, like the laws that got people sentenced to death after World War II for all of their horrific crimes like Mengele and stuff. Yeah, apparently we have people like Joseph Mengele running around today pushing the vaccine, trying to get people to get vaccinated. That's just as bad as Joseph Mengele in his mind, I guess. This came out, by the way, mid-February 2023. Okay, go on.
Do you think that's going to happen?
Yes.
There will actually be
100%,
justice.
unequivocally.
There will definitely be Nuremberg trials for the COVID vaccines. Okay.
Look, I don't know if it'll happen while I'm still breathing, but I won't take my last breath until I know that I've exhausted all of my efforts and then pass the torch for those efforts to continue.
What a martyr.
But I think, Dave, that this is coming a lot quicker than a lot of people might know.
Yeah.
I have a list of 22 attorneys general that want to sit down and personally and talk with me about accountability.
He has 22 attorneys general, 22 states. Okay. An attorney general is the prosecutor for the people, basically. They work for the people. So when a company, this is my understanding of the job, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or the chat or whatever. When a right-wing dating app decides to accidentally charge everybody's card a couple of extra times, or when Donald Trump accidentally takes extra money out of people's bank accounts, or commits fraud on people, if he commits wire fraud against the people of Pennsylvania, tells them that he's going to use this money to fund his election campaign, but he really uses it for his legal bills or something. That's when an attorney general would step in. There's a federal attorney general and there's a state attorney general for each. So usually it's like civil matters, sometimes criminal, but I think it's by and large just civil. Like they just sue them and fine them and stuff. Here's another good example. There are like 5 companies in the United States that produce like almost all of the eggs in the U.S. And those companies run by Republicans, by the way. Any surprise by that? In fact, the second largest producer is a Republican like politician in office now. Those 5 companies conspired to raise the price of eggs by exporting internationally and slaughtering their chickens before it was time to do so. They raise the price of eggs artificially so that they can make a killing off of it. Those are the types of things that attorneys general will go after. So Stu Peters here talks to 22 attorneys general about COVID or whatever. Go on.
General that want to sit down and personally and talk with me about accountability. They want to look into the criminal nature of the deployment of a bioweapon on American people.
No, please. COVID is not a bioweapon against the American people.
And that's what's been done here. And that isn't being hyperbolic.
It absolutely is.
This was stated in the patents. And in the patents for the pegylated lipid nanoparticle.
No, see, I can use big words too. See how those big words, I'm throwing out big words, and that proves that I'm right about everything. Snuffleupagus. See how big that word was? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's a pretty big word. That's impressive, right? Aren't I smart?
It's been done here, and that isn't being hyperbolic. This was stated in the patents. And in the patents for the pegylated lipid nanoparticle, which, by the way, these aren't just arbitrary patents. These are
Okay, just let me dissect what he said here.
pegylated lipid nano.
Pegylated is a specific structure of molecules. So I took a pegylated form of medicine a while back for this terminal illness that I've since been cured of, surprisingly. Very low cure rate. It was pegylated. It's just the structure of the molecules, and it's different from the traditional structure. So this pegylated molecule of
Pegylated lipid nanoparticle.
Lipid nanoparticle. So lipid means fat. Nano means very small. Usually referred to, or usually used to refer to like nanobots, right? Like little robots, little AIs that can rewrite DNA or whatever. So he's saying that there's a pegylated fat nanobot. Okay.
This was stated in the patents. And in the patents for the pegylated lipid nanoparticle, which, by the way, these aren't just arbitrary patents. These are patents that have been used in every single COVID injection, every single one of them across the board.
Yeah, I don't believe him. I'm sorry. This sounds like just some rando submitting a patent to me. Like everything this guy says is a lie, practically. So distrust everything this dude says by default.
It specifically states that the pegylated lipid nanoparticle that's in these mRNA death, heart attack, euthanasia clot shots.
Wow, that was a lot of words. I can't dissect everything, but it was all nonsense. You can bet on that.
Is a weapon of biowarfare. And they will be held accountable. I will not take my last breath. They will be held accountable. Nuremberg 2, military tribunal, citizens' grand juries, a lawman that wants to execute the sentencing that is handed down by said, one of the aforementioned. Yes, absolutely. I can unequivocally tell you, I can feel it supernaturally. I know it in my soul. We will see these people held accountable.
These people are insane, guys. They are insane. We're talking about Dave Scarlett on the left, but the guests he has on are unglued from reality. Let me show you Todd Coconato. This one is from, actually, I don't know when this is from. I didn't put a date on it. This is before I was tracking dates, mostly.
To the question, is Trump going to win? I think that as we pray, something happens.
No, this must be before Trump won. So this must have been between mid-November 2020 and like early January 2021, right? When this came out.
We pray, something happens. God responds. And when I asked the Lord, what should we do? Should we stop praying? Should we accept our defeat and move on to the next thing? He says, absolutely not. Opposite. Pray, pray, pray. Pray without ceasing.
God told you. Now keep that in mind. God specifically gave this guy instructions. Pray, pray, pray. Thus implying he wants Trump to be in office. By telling him to take extra action, he wants Trump in office, right? Keep listening and remember that fact while we go.
Pray without ceasing, believe, have faith, trust. So that's what I'm getting from God. And so that gives me encouragement in my spirit, because if the Lord is saying that, that means it's not done. You see, you understand me, saints?
So he's saying God is telling him this.
That means it's not done, because if it were done, then I think God would be telling me, you know what, just move on, or move on to the next thing.
Yes, or he would be silent.
You've entered into a new season, and everybody needs to be prepared for the persecution. Now, does that mean there won't be tough times ahead? No. Does that mean there won't be persecution? No. But what it means is simply this. He has not told me to stop praying.
And now that's different. That's fascinating. He has not told you. So God has not taken the action of telling you to stop praying, is what you're telling me. That's not the same thing as God actively taking the step to tell you to stop praying or to continue praying or whatever. Like, nothing that this guy says is factual in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know why I'm even bothering to, like, dissect this word for word. I'm sure we all realize how fictitious this is. This is just like one more thing on the pile.
To stop praying. And because of that, I believe that he's moving on our behalf in some way, shape, or form. And I believe that this is a war that we're going to have to pray this through until the very end here. But I do believe we're going to see God move on our behalf. And I think it's going to be such a miracle and sign and wonder. Now get this, because this is important. I believe it's going to be such a miracle, sign, and wonder as this takes place that the people, that even the godless.
That means us, right? People watching this are godless. Even if, like, some of us are Christian, for example, we're considered non-believers to his belief system. So we are the godless, okay? Even we will what, Todd?
The godless, even the atheists, are going to look and say, wow, look at the God that they serve. Look at the God that they serve.
I got to be honest with you. I've actually done that. Look at the God that they serve and how absolutely depraved he is. All of the disgusting, horrific, depraved stuff that he has ordered his people to do throughout history and apparently is still ordering his people to do. Like, what is happening?
People are going to say it was impossible. They're going to say there was no way. They're going to say, absolutely not. It'll never happen. And then what God does when he moves, they're going to see and look and say, wow. And I believe it's going to bring people to salvation.
This is a joke. This guy is a complete joke. Now, I don't know when this clip came out. This was a compilation. Again, I ordered the clips differently in my collection at the time. But this is just like after the fact. Listen to this one.
People say, well, you still think President Trump might become president again? I do, because I prayed about it, and I'll tell you, what God said to me was kind of shocking. Not really, but...
God didn't say a word to you.
When I prayed about if we'd ever see President Trump as our president again, God just reminded me that he's the one that chooses the leadership, not us. He allows certain things to happen.
Sure, yes, absolutely. You know what? Book of Romans, chapter 13 is pretty clear on that point. There's something happening in the hall, and I can't tell if it's a dog barking or somebody laughing. Romans 13:1, let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those authorities that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authority resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. That's super interesting, isn't it? Now listen to what Todd said again.
The one that chooses the leadership, not us.
God chooses the leadership, not us, you say. Huh, yeah, okay. That's in line with Romans 13:1, sure, absolutely. So why is Joe Biden the president now? Do you think maybe God got sick of the scumbag in office previously who was using him cynically to get votes? Now, that couldn't be it. Not possible. Has to be another explanation.
He allows certain things to happen, but he also responds to the prayers of the righteous. And what he was telling me is that just like David, and I think I said this in a past live stream, but just like David, President Trump has the mantle of leadership, has the anointing.
Clearly, he does not have the mantle of leadership, or he'd be the leader, right?
Of leadership. So that's why it's kind of confusing to saints that are looking and, they're wondering what's going on because they see Joe Biden and they're like, this guy doesn't seem like he's, authentic, like he's real. Is he really the president? Is he really?
Yes, he's really the president. He was inaugurated. He was accepted by every world leader, including Putin, and even Trump recognizes that Biden is the president. So yes, he's the president.
God, why are so many people questioning if Joe Biden is the president? I mean,
nobody is questioning that except you.
Clearly this guy is president of the United States. I mean, are we to doubt that? Are we not to believe that? And God said it's about the mantle of anointing, which is on President Trump, not Biden.
So you know the type of person we're dealing with here, right? I think that's pretty clear. Remember, we're talking about Dave Scarlett here, and these three nutter butters of epic proportions on his podcast. Dave Scarlett, Sean Fucht, or Foicht, or whatever, and Todd Coconato. So we've covered Todd Coconato, right? We've covered Dave Scarlett and how he appeals to people like Stu Peters and General McInerney and just like the most depraved of the most depraved. Now, I've got one more for you, one more clip. Check out Sean Foicht. Like, I don't want to pronounce the guy's name wrong. I think it's Foicht. Listen to what he has to say here about Christian nationalism. This clip is from 2023, late April 2023.
That's why we get called. Well, you're Christian nationalists. You want the kingdom to be the government. Yes. You want God to come and overtake the government. Yes. You want Christians to be the only ones that, yes, we do.
Christian nationalism, in a nutshell, is the desire to live under not just a Christian government, but his specific brand of Christian government. You think Catholics will be allowed to take part in a government that Sean Fucht sets up, or that Jason Rapert sets up, an actual ex-member of Congress that lobbies? He's a lawyer and he runs nonprofits that have conferences every year that invite all of everybody, and he builds this coalition and everything. You think that you want to live under their government? If you're Catholic, you don't want anything to do with this and what these people are doing. If you are Sikh or Buddhist or Muslim or atheist or whatever, that's pretty clear cut. Obviously, you don't want to live in a Christian nation, but I want to make it clear to Christians. You don't want to live in the society he has in mind, a society in which he is at the top and his people are at the top and his rules are instituted as law. He wants to live under the Mosaic law again, where gay people are thrown off of roofs. I mean, I'm not even joking. He wants to bring us to the areas of the Middle East controlled by ISIS and the Taliban. That is what he has in mind for our government. So when he says Jesus makes the laws, blah, blah, blah. No, he makes the laws based off of Jesus loosely, but it's his own interpretation of what Jesus believed. And what's his interpretation of Jesus? One where Jesus hated gay people, hated minorities, loved white people, wanted nothing to do with, he just wanted a homogenous society. It's insane. You don't want this. I don't care who you are, you don't want it.
You want God to come and overtake the government. Yes. You want Christians to be the only ones that, yes, we do.
I mean, that's Christian nationalism.
We wouldn't be a disciple of Jesus if we didn't believe that. We want God to be in control of everything.
No, he wants his interpretation of God to be in control of everything. Very different.
We want believers to be the ones writing the laws. Yes, guilty as charged.
Absolutely insane, dude. Absolutely insane. So as you can see, Pastor Dave Scarlett, Sean Fucht, and Pastor Todd Coconato unglued from reality. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue on to watch this clip from Dave Scarlett and Todd Coconato and Sean Fucht. Go to my Owen Unfiltered YouTube channel. You'll see an upload of individual pieces of the entire live stream, like cleaned up, color corrected, audio corrected, edited. Everything will look and sound good. With all that being said, I hope to see you over there. Oh, and check out my book, okay? OwenMorgan.com/book. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. This is psychotic.